Guys, apparently this is a Wolfe moon. They're calling it. I don't know who they are, other than the main, I don't know. I'm not sure where to reference that, but anyway, it is a big moon, first one of the year. I guess we might have caught one. Let's see, what is this? Yeah, this is the first one of the new year, full moon, and I always like to hit it. Jamie and I think, have caught every one, quite a few of them up here at this spot I call the Three Crosses, where my son got married, right over there in the building. And then this is a really good place to come reflect on God, reflect on life, reflect on your choices in life, reflect on your free will and where it's led you to this point, where you might want to be closer to God, closer to everyone, loving yourself, loving each other as, you know, Christ loved the church, right? Is there anything wrong with that? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Let's zoom in there. It's 1 minute. Go a little bit lower right there. I got me a little, whatchamacallit, tripod. Sorry about the wiggling. We're gonna zoom in on that moon, and I gotta go taller now. Jeez. Promise you, this is better than me holding the camera. But I'm fixing to zoom in even further. Look at that. Look at there, 15 times. Anyway, looking at the moon, watching the signs of the times, reading the word, talking to God. Seek Him in spirit and truth. That's what works. I'm not lying one bit. I've walked this, talked this. Sandy and I walked this. Jamie and I are walking it in real time. And it's a pleasure to do God's will. If you're in His purpose, and if you're in a season where you're in a drought and you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, you better seek Him. Because spiritual warfare is upon us. The enemy is here to steal, kill, and destroy. And it's still killing and destroying our children with either comfortable Christianity or complacent Christianity or uppity Christianity, or all these Christianities and denominations and doctrines of men. And a lot of them are doctrines of demons. I'm just going to say it. My town's dead spiritually in some ways. There's good people here. There's good spirit-led people. There's good people that are good people. But are there warriors for God? Where's the remnant? Where are the ones that aren't sitting in the pews, judging the people beside them, asking God to bless them like they bless that guy? Or anyway, it's just hard to see it. And I haven't seen it for many pews, but I've been in enough chairs and pews in this town to know that comfortable Christianity, which I'm guilty of for many years, is very prevalent, and it's the Laodicean church in Revelation, early chapters 2 and 3. Read about them. Do a spiritual assessment. Ask me how. I will help you do a spiritual assessment, and it will be a authentic, honest, free, me to you, talking about how to understand and hear the Holy Spirit and God's will for you, based on your wounds, based on trauma, based on whatever. Everyone's got something that holds them back, and the wambulance is basically grumbling to God. And we all have been on the wambulance. I've rode the wambulance myself, and when I say that snarkily, I mean, I don't mean to disparage anyone. My wife went in an ambulance, you know, code 3, 4, whatever it is, to Oklahoma City, you know, we didn't think we'd see her again. And so that impresses upon you the importance of every moment, every time, every place that you visit, every time God gives you another breath. Yahweh is His name, and it takes your breath to say that. And so every time you breathe, every heartbeat, you're saying Yahweh. And He's calling to you if you are truly His. To the degree you give yourselves to the dark, to the degree the dark will use you and steal from you anything and everything. You're just a puppet. You might as well be a Muslim. You might as well be a conquering Christian back in Christendom, you know, when we were forcing people to get whatever, right? I mean, we've come a long ways, people. Fall on your knees in front of God. Ask the Holy Spirit to guide your steps. Start deleting things that God convicts you of. When someone talks to you, don't get offended by something they say that might be a rebuke. It's not weird. It's love if you rebuke someone. Say, hey, don't do that. You could fall to your death. That's a rebuke. Same thing spiritually. Hey, don't do that. That's a spiral down a dark path that many of my friends have taken. Whatever you can imagine. In the Army, in the military, being a safety guy, working everywhere I worked. Working for the government 25 years. Doing emergency planning, safety. Just behind the scenes, in the dirt, in the mess, in the top echelons of those huge programs. And right up there with the voting members of the leadership. And so I saw all the dark side and the bright side and everything you can tell. And the Lord has led me through this path to be here right now, watching this moon, talking to you, whoever this may go to, telling you that I love you, that the enemy is lurking and he is afoot, and he will use any vessel that he can to destroy your purpose in God. That's your family, that's your past practices, that's anything he can do to keep you distracted from being who you're supposed to be in him. And that may not necessarily be planting your feet and sitting in one town till you die. Saw a lot of my family do that, and they're good people, and they had an honest, cool, good life. Mainly, a lot of them traveled. There was some military service with uncles. Dad was 17, one of 17 kids. So proud of that. Proud that I'm that legacy. I'm the 25th grandchild. My grandpa blessed me when he didn't even bless his own kids. In a sense, I mean, that's how I'm interpreting what Mom told me, what Dad told me, was I was favored among my grandpa, and that was a first. And I was highly favored, and I felt that when I visited him. And Sandy's heart was won by my family. That's their 50-year, 60-year reunion I took her to, with 150 people there, a money tree, and just honoring these two people that raised 17 kids. Well, raised 13 or 14, 2 or 3 or 4 died early, too early, 12 years old, a couple early births, 6 months, 5 months. And those, you get attached to those babies. Those are her last 2 grandma's babies. And she's got a book, and it's got some intel in it I'm gonna have to watch and listen to and read. But back to God. Know who you are in your identity in God, not in your family, not in your religion, not in a pew, not in a seat, not under some teaching. Get out of all institutions that you can get out of, and be prepared to be self-sustained just for a while until things blow over, if they do. World War III is afoot. I'm not saying this lightly. Cold War veteran. I was tip of the spear for nuclear weapons in Europe. Had all the protocols, the 2-man protocols, the dead switches, here's how you destroy the nuke if the enemy overtakes us so they can't use it. All that stuff. Been there, done that. As a young guy, 22, 3, taking my family over there on the front lines of the Cold War in Europe when the wall fell. It was amazing. All that got me out of my town, the military, a post I read earlier kind of got me spun up on this, but got me out of this town, out of my routines, out of my comfort zones, out of the friends that you can dig back into, eat their puke with them, whether they're lost in lust or lost in, friends. I got friends lost in everything. Every way, shape, and form you can be lost and not be God's man or woman. They're there. And running through the dating scene after Sandy, I gave her 17 months of celibacy and didn't even look at another lady to lust or anything like that. Tried to just be pure in that area as best I could. And God redeemed me. And so I had folly, but I got through that 17 months and I got into maybe dating, and ladies are hurting, everyone's hurting. The world is hurting, and we are part of the world. And if you're part of this world and not the part of God's kingdom, get in God's kingdom, because it is not of this world. We aren't even supposed to vote, y'all. Good Lord, it's not a law. Pay unto Caesar what is Caesar's. I'll argue with you on that. Patriotism is out the door. Yes, we had a great tool here. God used us. But now the tool in America is using to pervert the entire world. All the tools of AI, all of it. Sorry I went off on that tangent. I love you guys. Be prepared. Things could go out. There's probably going to be 3 days of darkness. There's going to be a financial reset. There's going to be a rapture. There's going to be a wars. There's going to be rumors of wars. This is the birth pains. Look at the volcanoes. Look at the flooding. They're not even telling you that now, I don't know, some other country is getting ready to be the start of World War III. So get ready. I love you guys. Later much. Roger.